Today I am interviewing Olga for the May Confident English Spotlight interview. Just as a quick reminder, if you have just recently started following me with Speak Confident English, every month in 2018, I'm interviewing someone in the Confident English community, someone who has made significant progress in their English, but also people who are inspirational, people who are doing amazing things, who have been really successful in their career. And I'm very excited to chat today with Olga, who has maybe been, Olga, I think you're one of the oldest members in my Speak Confident English community, but we'll talk more about that in a moment. But to start, would you share a little bit about who you are and where you're from?
Okay. I'm also very excited about this opportunity, and I'm very thankful to Annemarie that she gave it to me and invited me. So I'm Olga. I'm from Ukraine. As you know, it is one of the biggest countries in Europe, or the biggest one. My hometown is Donetsk. It is placed on the eastern part of our country. It's a big industrial city. The only thing that I'd like to say about it that Donetsk is well known by its coal mining, heavy metallurgy, but it is very, very green city, and it is called a city of million roses. Because yes, it's true, because the roses are planted everywhere, in flower beds, in parks, in alleys, between the roads.
I had no idea that it was the city of roses. I imagine.
Yes, of million roses. It is coming from 1970s, when the mayor of our city accepted such a decision to plant many, many roses everywhere, because the city is industrial and to clean the air. Wow. And it is really a city of, as Kiev is known as the city of chestnuts.
Yeah. Wow. Very interesting. So that's a really great segue and introduction into my next question, which is, can you tell us something that you think is particularly unique or interesting about your culture, about Ukrainian culture?
Ukrainian culture is quite ancient, and it is rooted to the 5th century, to Kievan Rus. And I think the main peculiarity about culture is multi-nationality, that for centuries our culture had been absorbing many ideas, many characteristics of different cultures, peoples, and now it's a great mixture. And that is why I think that our people indeed are very friendly and hospitable.
Okay, well, I can definitely confirm the friendliness and hospitality, because last year, for everyone that watches this, last year I got to meet Olga in Kiev. I met several.
Yes, it was great.
Speak Confident English community members, and it was a wonderful afternoon walking around and spending time in Kiev. So definitely the friendliness and hospitality is true. So Olga, I know that you are a mom. You're a full-time mom, and you are working. And I know that for so many women, it's always a struggle to find that work-life balance. And so I'm curious if you can tell us a little bit about how you have found that balance in your life, or what you do to help give you some sense of calm and sanity when your life is so busy.
Yes, it's true that life is really very, very busy now. And frankly speaking, I'm not a great expert and balance between work and life, because my working hours are quite long, and I would like to devote more time to my family and to my children. But I have very active holidays and very active day off because I've got two boys. They're extremely active children, and that's why I try not to spend the time at home, but to rollerblade with them, to bicycle with them, to run, and of course the holidays are always full of energy, love, and playing different games with them. But as for my professional part of my life, I have to say that now I'm working as a sales manager in a big retail company, which is specializing in furniture trading, mostly Italian furniture. And it's not exactly what I got accustomed to do because I'm not too well at selling. It's not my strong point, in fact. But I consider it as a good chance to enlarge my scope, to meet new people, and to develop. Because as for me, the most difficult thing to accept, to stuck at one moment and to remain without moving ahead. That is why I accepted the job, and now I can say that I succeeded in it. My new motto, hello to Tanya Dimchuk, my new motto, never stops learning, because life never stops teaching.
I like that. Well, as I mentioned at the beginning, I think you've maybe been one of the longest community members I've had. I remember back, I think 3 or 4 years ago.
Yes, exactly.
Where I did some reading challenge workshops and listening challenge workshops and things like that. And you were a part of that. So I know over the last 4 years, I've gotten the opportunity to know you. I know that you've spent a lot of time in your life studying English, that you used to use English for work, and it sounds like you probably do now as well, because you're traveling to Italy and working with others. So I'd love to know a little bit more about how you keep your English practice going, because it's a challenge for so many people who think, I don't live in an English-speaking country, or I don't have time to spend studying every day. So I'm curious what you've been able to do to keep your skills moving forward.
It's true, it's a challenge for me. Because I graduated from the Institute of Foreign Languages, where my main specialization is English teaching, and I got a good education, but this education mostly was very theoretical. And of course, it was not easy for me to start speaking, as for many, many others. That's why when I started working career, I bumped into the same problem, that it's much more difficult to speak than to read, to learn something new. But practice makes perfect. Speaking every day by phone, communicating via emails, having different appointments and meeting in live. Thanks to all these activities, my theoretical knowledge were pushed, and I got speaking. I improved my speaking skills considerably, and of course. Speaking, I think the most difficult part for me. Why? Because I don't have an opportunity to use English every day. But thanks to you, to our community, maybe to some other contacts that I have, I try to keep it alive.
Yeah, I love what you said, that at the beginning, it was all very theoretical. You had all the information in your mind.
Yes, yes.
There was a moment.
I was good at English many years ago, but not at speaking.
Yeah.
The English language. theoretical phonetics, theoretical grammatics, lexicology, and so on.
Yeah. And I like that you said that I think at least several years ago, you faced this same problem that so many people have, where it was in your mind, but actually using it and speaking was a real challenge. So you did talk about the fact that absolutely practice makes perfect. You had to use it on the phone. You had to communicate with people. And I'm curious, at that time, when you had to make those decisions to speak to other people, what helped you get that confidence to try speaking, to do it so that you could improve your speaking skills?
Talking about telephone conversations, I think that the best strategy, you also mentioned it in your video lessons, is to make short preparations. For example, if you know the purpose of your call, you have to write some brief notes for yourself, just not to lose your thread of conversation, not to be embarrassed. And then if you have these notes, then you call one time, the next time, and then these phrases become automatically. You do not think a lot when you ask to connect to someone or to say something else. So making notes for telephone conversation is for sure as the most effective key. I think that one more tip is having phrases and cliches in your mind to keep the time, to support small talks. And when you are talking about nothing, about weather, about landscapes and so on, you have you gain time to think more carefully about some serious questions.
That's true. Well, I know you talked a little bit earlier about some of the things that you do to still stay connected to English, like reading. And I know that you are a very avid reader. Do you have a book in English that you would say is your favorite, or a book that you would recommend for others to read?
Yes, I've got some of them that I liked a lot, and the first one, it is a book, The Martian by Andy Weir. It is scientific fiction. I think the movie with the same title, The Martian by Ridley Scott, directed by Ridley Scott, was based on this novel, and I enjoy it a lot. I don't know, but I like it very much. And the second one is the book that you recommended me some time ago. It is The Nightingale by Christine Hanna. Yes, it is a fantastic book, and I can recommend it to everyone. Do not, you will enjoy it for sure, because it's a combination of history, of love, of struggle. It's worth reading for sure.
Oh, good. Yeah, I loved that book too. It's definitely one of my favorites.
Yes,
so
definitely.
My last question for you today is, one of the reasons I'm interviewing you and others this year is because I know everyone I'm interviewing has worked really hard to make progress in English. They have found ways to be successful, and often people that have learned to be successful have great ideas or advice for others who are feeling really stuck or struggling with making progress. They don't know how to move forward. So what would you recommend, or what advice would you give to someone who feels very stuck right now in English?
First of all, I think that it's up to every person. If you are persistent, if you really want to move ahead and to make progress, that for sure you will find the ways for this, because now there are a great quantity of internet resources, of communities, of groups, and it depends everything on your desire. But of course, if a person is really persistent and it works a lot, but he or she feels stuck, then the reason is inside you. First of all, you have to overcome your fears, to overcome fears of making mistakes. To err is human, and I think if a person wants to make progress in speaking, the only way to do it is to speak as much as you can, and only speaking helps to improve speaking skills.
Well, I don't have any more questions for you, but is there anything else you would like to add before we finish today?
I don't know, maybe the only thing that I would like to say that the people who are listening to me now, you have to be very, very thankful to Annemarie for her being so encouraging, being so positive, and so I don't know even how to say, very purposeful, because she she gives us a lot and gives us a great opportunity to communicate all over the world with different people. And I like that you are a very creative person, and you never stop, or you never stop on one point, and you add new and new activities in your confidence lessons at your school. I think so. I just wanted to say my sincere thanks to you.
Oh, my pleasure. Well, thank you. That's super kind of you. Thank you. Well, thank you very much for doing this today. I really appreciate your time, and I know that it does take a little bit of courage and bravery, even if you're not afraid, but it does take a little bit of
yes, yes, it's true, because now I'm speaking English so little that frankly, it was also, now I must confess that I felt fear.
You did an awesome job. It was wonderful. So thank you so much, Olga.
Thank you. It's my pleasure, Annemarie.